So it looks like Drake just made the worst decision of his career. And no, I'm not talking about another awkward freestyle or corny one-liner. I'm talking about this defamation lawsuit against his own label, UMG. Yep, Drake is suing his own team over Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. And honestly, it's giving desperate. You'd think Drizzy would be laying low after the absolute annihilation he suffered in this rap beef. But nah, he's doubling down, and things are about to get even messier. Because word on the street is that Kendrick and Pusha T are teaming up to finish him off for good. And this time, they're aiming straight for Drake's reputation. Sources are saying that Kendrick and Pusha T are not only linking up for a new track, but that they plan to take this to a whole new level by exposing Drake's past, especially when it comes to his alleged creepy behavior around young women. And if you thought it couldn't get worse, it definitely can. Drake is now claiming in his lawsuit that Not Like Us is anti-Semitic. He argues that when Kendrick called him a colonizer, he was actually taking a shot at Drake's Jewish heritage. Drake, are you sure you want to go there? Because here's the thing. If this lawsuit moves forward, Drake's entire personal life is going to be dragged into the public eye. His lawyers would have to prove that Kendrick's accusations in Not Like Us are false, which means every rumor, every old clip, and every shady moment in Drake's history is about to be put under a giant microscope. And let's not forget, Drake has also made plenty of defamatory accusations in his own music. Remember when he accused Kendrick of abusing his fiancée in Family Matters? Or when he hinted that Kendrick's friend Dave Free fathered one of Whitney's kids? So how is he going to argue that Not Like Us is defamation, but his diss tracks aren't? Make it make sense. Meanwhile, UMG just fired back and is asking the court to dismiss the lawsuit entirely, calling it retaliatory legal action, and saying Drake is just trying to silence Kendrick before the Super Bowl.
Oh, in case you missed it, UMG just hit back at Drake with a new legal filing after he filed a defamation lawsuit in Texas claiming that the label ruined his reputation by promoting Kendrick Lamar's diss track Not Like Us. In the lawsuit, Drake repeats what he said back in his 2 petitions in November, that he believes UMG was behind the scenes boosting the song's numbers on Spotify. He alleged that UMG and Spotify conspired against him and used shady tactics like paying for plays, bots, and other tricks to make Not Like Us seem even bigger than it really was. But that's not even the craziest part. Drake is also claiming in his lawsuit that Not Like Us is anti-Semitic. He argues that when Drake called him a colonizer, he was actually taking a shot at Drake's Jewish heritage. Is Drake admitting that? Never mind. The lawsuit says, furthering the recording's refrain that Drake is not like us, that line alludes to Drake's Jewish heritage, saying that Drake is not a colleague but an effing colonizer. And if that wasn't wild enough, Drake also made another bizarre claim in this lawsuit. He also compared the shooting outside his Toronto mansion in May 2024 to the Pizzagate scandal. The lawsuit states it was just 3 days after UMG originally published the recording and image that Drake was targeted at his Toronto house by armed intruders in the 2024 equivalent of Pizzagate.
And let's talk about that, because this might be the real reason Drake is scrambling. Just when you thought the Kendrick versus Drake war was cooling down, boom! Kendrick is now teaming up with Drake's other biggest enemy, Pusha T. According to Hip Hop DX, Kendrick is featured on a song called Chains and Whips for Pusha and No Malice's upcoming Clips album.
The lawsuit is not about the artist who created Not Like Us. It is instead entirely about UMG, the music company that decided to publish, promote, exploit, and monetize allegations that it understood were not only false but dangerous. The lawsuit then goes on to argue that UMG knows for a fact that those PDF file allegations are false. The filing says Drake has never engaged in any acts that would require he be placed on neighborhood watch. Drake has never engaged in relations with a minor. Drake has never been charged with or convicted of any criminal acts whatsoever. But here's the thing, everyone from fans to legal experts are saying this lawsuit might be Drake's biggest mistake yet. Not only does he have a weak case and would have to prove why Not Like Us is defamatory but his own diss tracks are not, also the only thing he'll achieve with this lawsuit is reminding people of all the old receipts of him getting creepy around young.
And listen, if you remember how Pusha completely ended Drake's good guy image with the story of Added On, then you already know that this track is about to be another devastating diss. Fans are already speculating that this could be Drake's final L, because at this point, how does he even recover? He's suing his own label. His rap career is in crisis. And now two of the most ruthless lyricists in the game are about to tag team him into oblivion. But here's where it gets worse for Drake, because all this talk about Kendrick's lyrics being defamatory is forcing people to dig up old receipts. That super creepy concert video where he kissed a 17-year-old girl and joked, "I can't go to jail yet, man." Those weird text exchanges with Millie Bobby Brown when she was only 14, where she said he told her he missed her so much and gave her boy advice. That one time Billie Eilish straight up called him out for texting her when she was 17 and said it was kinda weird.
On January 23rd, UMG filed a motion to dismiss Drake's defamation lawsuit, citing Drake's lack of direct evidence. UMG's lawyers said, because Drake's petition is related to and was filed in response to UMG's protected free speech, and because Drake cannot carry his burden to establish by clear and specific evidence that he is entitled to pre-suit discovery, the court should dismiss Drake's retaliatory legal action against UMG. Drake provides nothing outside of his verified petition, which alone cannot provide an evidentiary basis for a petition. Even looking into the petition, there is no evidentiary support for his asserted need for pre-suit deposition of UMG. On top of that, UMG also pointed out that instead of taking up his issues directly with Kendrick, who wrote the song Drake thinks is defamatory, Drake resorted to strategic legal retaliation against UMG and others in an apparent effort to pressure them to limit the distribution of Not Like Us. In other words, it sounds like UMG is hinting that the only reason Drake filed this lawsuit is to try and block Kendrick from performing Not Like Us at the upcoming Super Bowl halftime show. But other sources from Kendrick's camp are saying Drake just needs to let it go because there's nothing he can do to stop Kendrick from performing the track.
And now, the internet is dragging up even more. Toronto is literally putting up flyers comparing Drake to known predators. And some of Drake's former associates? Yeah, they're starting to distance themselves fast. Drake filing this lawsuit didn't silence the rumors, it made them louder. And now, instead of putting Kendrick in a corner, he's given him and Pusha T the perfect excuse to go even harder. Real talk, what is Drake even trying to do here? Because let's be honest, this lawsuit is not looking good for him. If his goal was to block Kendrick from performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, then he's already failed. Because just last week, the NFL played Not Like Us in a promo ad during the Eagles versus Commanders game, basically confirming that Kendrick is performing the song and there's nothing Drake can do about it. If his goal was to restore his reputation, well, good luck with that, because all this lawsuit has done is remind people why they started side-eyeing him in the first place. And if his goal was to make Kendrick look bad, that backfired too, because now he's facing a lyrical assault from two of rap's deadliest writers. So now the question is, can Drake even recover from this? With Kendrick still throwing shots, Pusha T about to tag in, and his legal case looking weak, this might be the moment that changes Drake's career forever. And let's be real, a couple of corny woe is me Instagram stories aren't going to fix this. So what do y'all think? Is Drake making the biggest mistake of his career? Will Kendrick and Pusha T drop another diss track that ends him for good? And does Drake have any moves left? Or is this finally checkmate? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe, because this hip-hop war is far from over.